Hello again, and welcome to this current episode, an issue of Frank Talk with Gilbert. My name is Bob McLean. I have the honor of being your host for this great show. And of course, the other gentleman on your screen is the founder and CEO of DebtMasters, and it is the one and only Gilbert Landriault. Gilbert, hello and welcome back.
Hey, Bob. Nice to be back and answering all your questions.
Yeah, well, we're getting some great feedback, and it's helping a lot of people. So hopefully we're going to be helping you again this week. And as always, if you have questions, head over to our Facebook page for Debt Masters. Leave us your question. We will get back to you with your answer. Okay, so now, Gilbert, this week, there's a number, like every time we talk, you talk about the loan to value number, and I'm still not quite sure that I've got it down. And you talk about how important it is. So let me just start by asking the question, what is loan to value and why do I care about it?
A loan to value, Bob, is a product that they created to, you will control your life, financial life with the loan to value. And people don't understand that part because life is busy and they just go on with what they're doing. But the loan to value is how much credit you have, how much you have a limit and you have a balance. How much of that are you using and how are you using it? The magic number is 30%. People don't understand that if you use more than 30%, that's when you will end up in trouble with your credit score. And that will create high interest rate on your next loans. So a loan to value is how much of the credit you have that you use and how much do you pay it? How do you pay it? If you, give you an example, if you have $1,000 credit card and you use up to $3,000, it doesn't damage your credit because that's the magic number. But if you use out of the 1,000, you use $800, now you're at 80%. Now your score is going to start dropping at the end of the day. They don't explain that anywhere because they would be losing money if they did. So my big thing about loan to value is to make sure people understand what's going on. The worst part you can have is receiving a credit card in the mail and you just take it, call it in, and you start using it. And you were already past the 30%. You were probably at 40, 50, 60, and you say, well, I have one more credit card. All right, I can go shopping. Well, next month you will see your credit score will have dropped by 30, 40 points because now you're at 80, 85% of your utilization of your credit. And people sometimes say, I pay everything on time, I do everything that they say, and my credit still drops. Well, your utilization of your credit is way up there at 70, 80%. You're paying your minimum. You're doing what you're supposed to. But what you don't realize is until you reach 30% of your amount, your credit score will keep coming down at the end of the day.
Okay, Okay, so on the loan side of the loan to value, you're basically adding up your maximum value of each of your credit cards and adding that together. Is that how you figure out the loan?
That's right. Let's say you have 4 credit cards and they all have $10,000 on it. So that's $40,000 at the end of the day. And if all your balance are $8,000 on each card, you're at 80% utilization here. You're damaging yourself and you don't even know it at the end. But I use the loan to value to make people understand that a credit card is a loan. It's not a freebie. It's not going to go away if you miss your payment. It will come after you. So the main thing is to be able to control the utilization of your credit. If you keep it under 30%, you will be building your credit. And you have to show consistency all the time. But life gets in the way. You need this, you need that. You buy it, I'll pay it next month. Suddenly you wake up, you're not 3,000 anymore. You're at 8,000 and your limit is 10,000. So you're back to the 80%. And in any seminar that I've been through since 2004, I never heard a seminar speaker talk about the loan to value. and I was blown by it, and I would ask the question, and they would say, I will answer that later after we can have a coffee. So they don't want to talk about it because that's the magic thing for the creditors to make a lot of money out of it at the end of the day.
So, okay, so this loan to value, I care about it because if I go above that magic line that nobody tells me is even there, it's going to start costing me in terms of my credit score, which then costs me on interest for mortgages and anything else that I want to get. So that's why I care, right?
That's right. And another surprising thing that they don't tell you, if you have 3-4 credit card, I'll say a limit of 30,000 on all your credit card, and you're at zero, your balance is zero on all your card, and you go for a mortgage, they will utilize that number as if your credit card were maxed out. And people don't understand that it's a loan. Even if you paid it all off, you have access to that loan tomorrow if you want to. So the bank looks at it, even if you're all at zero on your balance, that maybe tomorrow you'll turn around and go and buy a snowblower or a $3,000 purchase here and there, and that will put you in the jeopardy to pay your loan to the bank or whatever. So it's very, very important to understand the loan to value of your credit cards, your line of credit. How do you deal with it? You keep it up there, it damages your credit. That's the system. That's how it's built.
Okay. What about other things like a mortgage?
Mortgage is different. The mortgage itself is, how could I say it? It's not an unsecured debt. It's a guaranteed debt at the end of the day. It's a secured debt. Yes, you have line of credit that are secured, but you're adding on your loan to value at all the time. Anytime you add a credit card, $500 or $50,000, you're adding to the loan value. You should never have a limit of credit card higher than 30% of what you're making. So if you make $50,000, you shouldn't have more than $15,000 of credit card debt.
And at $50,000 a year.
Yes, your gross income, you shouldn't have more than 30%. Even at 30%, you're taking a risk. Because if your job cuts your hours, now you're getting only half your pay, you still have the same amount of bills to pay. And that's when people get in trouble.
In that example, I earn $50,000 a year. I've got $15,000 as my, combined for my credit cards. If I run them all up to the maximum, right up to 15,000, am I still okay in terms of that 30%, or are we only looking at the money I owe on the credit cards?
No, the 15,000 is the limit that you're getting. You still got to work out the 30% on that 15,000.
Okay.
Okay. If you have 15,000, which is the limit that you should have because you're making 50,000 gross, and you use that 15,000 in full, you're damaging your credit still because you're at max on 100%. You still got to bring that down to 30. I always tell my client, don't bring it to 30, bring it to 26, 25, 20. So that way, if you keep it within that range, you're never going to be in trouble with your credit score at the end of the day.
Got it. Okay. So now what about things like I go in and buy a new car? Is that part of the loan to value?
Again, when you buy the car, your score drops. And that's because you're at the max on your loan. But on your long term of your car lease agreement or the purchase from the bank, as you pay it down, it creates momentum and a steady showing up that you're making payment on time. Now you're going to start building your credit. Anytime you get credit, you damage your credit. But if it's a long-term credit, on the long term, you will gain from that purchase. Because your cost is going down, your loan is going down, the limit of your loan goes down on a monthly basis. So eventually you will start, because you're showing momentum that every month you pay it on time, now you're building your credit. So there's a downfall when you get it, but there's an upward going forward that will help you at the end to build it.
Okay. So if I have two credit cards, they each have $1,000 limit on them. One card has $500 on it and the other card has nothing. So Am I good on the loan to value? Because when you balance them out, it's below the 30% of my total. Does that count?
Uh, no, it's per individual card at the end of the day. But if your card has nothing, you have option to switch from one card to the other. Then you can take this card that has nothing, take the $200 or $250, put it on, pay the payment on the other card, and now you both cards are below 30.
Okay. So yeah. So for those people who have multiple cards, you got to keep each and every one of them below 30%. But you do have available the ability to juggle between cards.
That's right.
Okay. All right. I could just see people at the end of the month, like almost like a shell game, moving the money from this account to that account so that everything works out in the end.
It is a little bit of work, but it is an option where, especially when people, a mortgage is coming up soon and their credit card are on the verge of getting in trouble, then you can give them that option. Listen, do this with this card, pay this one off, bring it down to this level, so that way you're not going to damage your score, you're going to raise your score, because by doing so, you're showing momentum on your card. More time you use your card, more time your score will go up.
Okay.
If a card becomes dormant, it brings you nothing, zero. And it's the loan to value is still the limit that's on it, even if you're not using it for 6 months.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, then just to take another example that goes the other way, I earn $100,000 a year. I have a $5,000 limit credit card. I just don't really use a lot of credit. But for whatever reason, I had the big car repairs. I had something, and I've basically put $3,000 of charges on my $5,000 card. So the fact that I make $100,000 a year and have just a small credit card, I've now gone over the 30%. That's going to hurt me, isn't it?
That's right. But understand one thing, Bob. If you put $3,000 of repair on it, you're at 60% on your card. But if at the end of the month you pay it off, it doesn't damage your credit. That makes a big difference at the end of the day.
Okay. So
you must pay it before the 21st of the month, or on the 21st of each month. That's when they come in. So if you pay it when the invoice comes, you don't get damaged. But if you pass that day, the next day, it shows you at 60% now. It's very important to make your payment on time.
What can you do for me?
At the end of the day, we have an evaluation sheet that we use, and we put all your information on it, and it shows you where you stand. And then we give you option of program how to deal with it, because sometimes you're a little bit too high. You can't afford to bring it down to where you want it right away. But there's nothing wrong with taking, even if it takes you 3 months to bring it back, but at least you're working on it and now you know and understand. We make sure that you do understand how it works, so that after you're done with that 3 months, getting back to normal, you're not going to get back in that trouble, because we're holding your hand now. And if you have an issue, you can call. We'll say, well, do this, do that. So you have a coach in your corner. That's different now. And you're not alone out there. That's the difference.
Okay. Oh, that's a big difference. All right.
Yeah.
So if you are out there and you're wondering, maybe you got a little bit of debt problem here, or maybe a lot of debt problem, and you want to know what your options are, you're interested. You want to know what your loan to value is as well. Below this video is a link where you can set up your own personal options consultation. So click on that link now, and then just pick the time and date that works best for you. And then you'll talk to one of our certified consultants, counselors, and they'll fill you in on what your loan to value is, and also what you can do about it, and what your options are from here. Okay, well, Gilbert, thank you as always. This has been very, very enlightening. Again, folks, if you want to know where you stand, click the link below and ask one of our certified consultants, counselors. So again, Gilbert, thank you so much for all of this great information. And,
you are so welcome.
Yeah, and thank you for coming out for another episode of Frank Talk with Gilbert, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye for now.
Goodbye.